Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Spitball Sports Show. I'm Jacob. Joining me, as always, is Brian. Today, we're going to recap Week 10 of the NFL, talk about some games that surprised us, some games that left us feeling hopeless and empty. Um, and then we'll talk about the upcoming Thursday night game that's happening tomorrow between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. So, with that said, Brian, how are you doing? And what do you think of Week 10 of the NFL?
Well, Eagles were on a bye week, but it was a much needed bye week with a couple injuries. So it was nice to basically have no skin in the game for a day. I was just able to enjoy football. My team wasn't playing. I'm not really stressing out about that. So it was nice, man. It was good. Lot of good games, really exciting games. My favorite one so far, I think this year, and I don't know how this game is going to be topped, is going to be the Chargers and Lions. That was game of the year, I'd say. That was insane. I know you said you didn't watch it, but dude, it was back and forth. It reminded me of when the Chiefs played the Rams. I think it was back in 2018, that like shootout that they had. It was just like that. It was amazing.
I watched the highlights from it, and it was the highlights were exciting. It was a back
Dude.
and forth game
Yeah.
there for sure. Um, you know, it's unfortunate for the Chargers that they have such a powerhouse of an offense
Hmm.
that score 38 points in a game, and they can't win a game. The
Yeah.
defense cannot allow it. You can't win football games like that, man. If you're allowing 41 points in a game, and this has been a routine for the Chargers, where Justin Herbert will go lights out with the offense, and defense can't make anything happen, dude.
Yeah.
This is becoming a trend. It might lead to them missing the postseason if it keeps going this way.
And it's crazy because we've talked about it before. It seems like they have such talented players on the defensive side. They just can't get it going. And I don't know what's going on.
It's crazy, man. It's unfortunate. But I still like Justin Herbert. I still want to see him succeed. I think he's top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. Um, it's unfortunate, but they'll build the team around him. He has Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen on offense, some really really good offensive weapons.
Yeah.
They just need to start beefing up their defense.
Yeah. They
I
they
wouldn't
definitely
I
need
wouldn't
to
be surprised
change.
if they're. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if their defensive coach gets fired this next season.
Even Staley, I think if they miss the playoffs or they just don't perform to certain expectations, I think he's gone too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just been too long. It's been too much, too many disappointing seasons, time after time, and it's just not working out for him. It might be time for a change.
Might be. Might be. And I did want to point out that I do have a coffee stain on my shirt right here. So I apologize if that's distracting you while we do this. I switched up the
It's
jerseys today.
Yeah,
I figure it might give the Giants a little bit more luck for the rest of the season if I rep the Plaxico Burress jersey rather than the Eli Manning.
it looks good, man. I like you in white.
Thanks. Thanks. You got that Plaxico 17. I'll try to avoid shooting my nuts off today, but just wanted to rep this jersey. Just throw back to better times.
Yeah, back when the times were good.
Yeah, and the times have been bad. They've been well, depressing to say the least. That is for sure. I guess we could talk about it. I didn't watch the game. I was watching the Cardinals um, playing against the Falcons. So unfortunately, I missed a really good competitive game with the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Um, they got absolutely walloped by the Cowboys. This is one spread I remember. You and I talking about the spread was 17.5 going into the
Yeah,
game. I took the Cowboys covering that spread because I know how shit my team is. I think you picked the Giants to cover just because you don't like the Cowboys.
I did. I did. I thought, a little further into the season, they might have something, but no, man, that was
Hell no.
that was so bad.
I checked in just out of curiosity. I checked on my phone to see how they were performing in the first quarter, and DeVito had I think 4 yards passing. Saquon Barkley had 7 carries with 1 yard total. And it looks like look at the stats now. It looks like it didn't really get much better.
No.
I do think most of their production came in the fourth quarter, and they were playing against all the Cowboys' backups and third stringers. I think that's where most of their production came in. So really, really terrible, dude. And apparently, there's some bad off the field stuff and sideline stuff happening.
Oh,
Players getting
really?
into it with each other, with the coaches. So the team's falling apart.
It's bound to happen. I mean, I don't blame them with how bad the season's gone, especially a back-to-back loss that bad to your rivals,
Yeah,
your division rivals. Like, yeah,
big time, big time. And it's it's not even that they're 2-8. It's the way that they're 2-8. Like the Cardinals, they're 2-8. And the team couldn't be happier. The guys they get along well. They play very very hard and competitively every game. The Giants is just different. Like nobody's playing with effort. Everybody's given up. It looks depressing on the sideline. I'd say the only glimmer of hope for us is that we are definitely getting a top 5 draft pick, possibly number 1 pick. We'll see.
We'll see.
I won't root against them. I won't root for them to lose games, but I wouldn't be mad if they lost every game the rest of the season.
Might as well, man. There's no point.
Might as well,
There's
dude.
no point in the season. What are you gonna do at this point? Just tank. Just
Let's just tank it. Well, I mean, they don't need to tank. They're so shit. They don't need to tank. They
just
just
keep doing
play
what you
like they've
guys are
been
doing.
playing, dude.
Yeah.
You just got to keep on.
What about the other New York team?
Oh shit.
Dude,
Well, which
that was
one?
a
I guess.
game. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The one up north. The one up
uh,
north.
the one up north. Okay.
That was an exciting game to say the least. That was I would say expected. I took the Broncos to cover. I'm loving the downfall of the Bills. I feel bad. I feel bad saying that because I liked them before. I mean, I still like them, but it's just something about it's just so funny. It's so funny to me that they're just on this downward slope. And oh man, especially the way it
Yeah.
ended with 12 men on the field.
It was a comedy of errors, and I mean, even tuning into the game and watching before that last horrendous play, that's going to go down in history as one of the biggest mess ups of all time in the NFL.
Yeah.
That is historic. But even earlier in the game, um, what's his name was running down the field. James Cook was running down the field. He fumbled the ball, it fell on the floor, and it popped right back up in his arms, and he kept running. It was just that type of game where
Yeah.
just comical stuff was going on. It was wacky, dude. And you know a funny part about the 12th man on the field?
Was it what?
The 12th man was DeMar Hamlin, dude.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot of memes about the Bills
Uh,
fans after that happened, talking about do not resuscitate and all that
yeah, I saw
kind of
something
stuff.
like that. I'm like, oh man, poor
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, they're pretty pissed off at DeMar.
Yeah,
That's a
that
weird
was bad.
situation they got going on over there with DeMar. He like hardly plays for them, and he's probably still gonna win comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about how he shouldn't just because. I mean, yeah, it's great that he came back. Obviously, like he
Yeah,
basically died, and
basically
he
died.
needed to come
But
back.
then
But
you got Tua, who like that guy should be in a wheelchair, and
yeah,
he's come back and he's one of the leaders right now in the NFL.
yeah,
I mean,
he wasn't even great to begin with. Demar, like think he was just
nobody
whatever.
knew who he was till this happened.
Hmm.
You know, maybe if you're a Bills fan, you'd know.
Right.
Yeah, man, crazy game. I am happy to see Russell Wilson having his comeback
Hmm.
after
That's
such
two
a
back-to-back
terrible.
games. Yeah.
Yep, the Broncos are working the way up, man. They may end up stealing a wild card spot. Excuse me. They're 4-5 right now.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Oh, I wonder how their remaining schedule looks, but I'm assuming. I mean, that division. I don't believe it's out of reach for them,
I
right?
don't think so. They got a couple of hard games coming up. They have to play the Browns, the Lions, the Chargers, but then they go up against teams like the Raiders, the Patriots. Um, those teams, they could probably steal wins, but we'll see, man. They have to play. They do have to play the Chargers twice still, so
which
not
could be
going to be
really good or
easy.
really bad. It could be really good or really bad depending on what kind of Chargers you get.
Yes, Chargers might just charger the game away in the fourth quarter. Give it to the Broncos. That was wild, though. That was a historic mess on that coach's
And then they
part.
fire the coach the next day, man. And it
was
wasn't
going
even
to
his
happen.
fault.
No, it wasn't. It was special teams. That was all
Yeah.
special teams. That special teams coach should have been fired for allowing something like that to happen.
Yeah.
That's the last play of the game. You got to make sure that your ducks are in a row, as they say.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it seems like there's probably some under the bridge kind of stuff that we don't know. There's like stuff that they had players only meetings, right? I think offensive players only meetings. So it's just kind of another one of those situations with the Giants where just things are just in disarray. Maybe there's lack of confidence. I don't know if you saw Diggs' brother was tweeting out like, "Free my brother, get him out of there," like this sort of stuff. And
poor guy.
yeah, it's not great. It's not great for the Bills right now.
Sounds like he wants out.
I would say
Somebody
so.
made a meme. They're like, Stephon Diggs. It was like Stephon Diggs was typing the post, and he was like, "I asked Josh Allen to throw me the ball more," and he said, "Put on a Broncos jersey." That's so funny, dude.
Dude, he's just that
for real,
was
though.
a bad game. Yeah, no, I mean,
Well.
as many interceptions as he's had consistently every game,
Yeah, it is. And what happened last season is he'll throw like 2 or 3 picks in a game, which is bad. But then he'll throw 4 or 5 touchdowns in a game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the risk is worth the reward. Now we're just getting Josh Allen that's getting 177 yards in a game, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Against a Broncos defense, that's one of the worst passing defenses out there.
Right.
Well, they're supposed to be.
I mean, they got torched for 70, and that's what's crazy. They got beat by 70 against the Dolphins. The Bills absolutely destroyed the Dolphins, but I mean, they can't beat the Broncos. I don't know. Strange.
Yeah, I think we're witnessing the downfall of the Bills right now. Josh Allen, I like him a lot. I think when Daboll was there, getting him, under center, making sure that he's holding onto that ball, not throwing as many interceptions, I think his ball retention and his decision making was a lot better. Maybe it's time for a reunion. Who knows? No, I want a fresh quarterback. I want a brand new, unscathed, unjaded quarterback for the Giants. I don't want anybody with baggage.
You wouldn't take Josh Allen? I mean, they wouldn't get rid of him. I don't think they would.
I don't think they would. He's their franchise,
right?
But I don't know. I'd rather take. We got good prospects coming in. Might as well just take somebody fresh.
Yeah,
that hasn't been all fucked up from the system. Let's talk about the Sunday night game. This game sucked ass. The Jets versus the Raiders. Did you finish this game?
I did, man. I was rooting for the Jets, bro.
It was fucking terrible.
I was rooting for the Jets, and freaking Wilson almost caught it at the end, but he got cucked by his own player. It was a tough game. I feel bad for Zach Wilson a little bit. I mean, he's trying to do his best, but just some really untimely interceptions, and some of them I feel like weren't necessarily his fault. I mean, he was getting pressure like crazy. He has to scramble, but what a terrible game.
Yeah, that was a god awful Sunday night game. I was surprised that one didn't get flexed. But yeah, Zach Wilson didn't perform bad. 263 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns, of course, as is the trend with the Jets.
Dude.
They didn't have an offensive touchdown. All they had was field goals. So
yeah,
if you have Zerline on your fantasy, good for you.
Good for you. No,
Good
I don't
call.
know if you saw earlier where he ran in for a touchdown, but it got taken back, I think, because of a holding. And pretty much after that, like it just all went downhill. Like they would visit the red zone pretty often, or they would get pretty close, but they just cannot capitalize, man. I mean, give props to the Raiders defense. They've been, a top 5 defense, I'd say, especially
Yeah,
with Max or Crosby right now. He's just freaking killing it.
they're
But
fun to watch.
they're fun to watch.
I'm liking the Raiders this season. The
Yeah,
fans are insufferable, but I am enjoying watching the Raiders kind of come from nowhere. Especially they got rid of Derek Carr, so it's like, oh god, now we got this open space. Bringing Jimmy G in, a backup quarterback at best. Uh, and now it's like Jimmy G's out. They got rid of the head coach. Aiden O'Connell's in there performing well, and this interim head coach is doing a
dude.
fine job.
Yeah.
That's cool to see.
I
Do you
wonder what's gonna
think?
happen with Garoppolo.
Yeah, yeah. How long is he out for? Do we know?
Didn't they just? I thought they just sat him, or they just benched him.
Oh, did they really? I thought he was
I'm,
injured.
I thought he was just benched.
No kidding.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe, dude. Oh man, bro, you might be right.
Yeah, I think they just decided to bench him. That's why I'm like, dude,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
bro.
not good.
I mean, I feel that was definitely one of those things where like he was brought in because he had that Patriots lineage, and
Yeah,
they wanted to do better. But as soon as they got rid of their head coach and rid of the Patriot way, then like, all right, why do we have this guy here? I felt there's people in the organization that probably didn't want him at all, or just like, why are we getting this freaking guy and paying him so much? So I don't know, man. It's a lot of money to pay for a guy they're just gonna have as a backup.
it really is. Yeah, looking it up, he signed a 3-year deal
Mm-hmm.
with Vegas. That's not good.
Mm-mm.
Aiden O'Connell's performing well though.
I feel with the way that the team is clicking right now, I don't unless Aiden gets hurt or he plays absolutely has some horrible games. I don't see Garoppolo getting the starting
Yeah, why would you?
nod. Yeah,
What's working
just
is working.
especially if everyone's. I mean, you see the locker rooms after everyone's just freaking smoking cigars
Yep,
or is just having a great time. So
yep.
because
Yeah,
if it's not broke,
they're 2 wins in a row. The
mm-hmm.
next game is going to be a test. They play the Dolphins on Sunday.
Mm.
That will test the team to see where they're at.
Yeah,
And it's in Miami. Oh, we'll see how that one goes for them.
Miami.
Miami. Let's talk about a couple other games here that happened. Let's talk about the Falcons and Cardinals game that I was at.
That was good.
Man, Kyler Murray reunion revenge tour. It was
It
good
did
seeing him
not.
back.
What
Huh?
was it like? How was the crowd?
They loved it. They loved seeing Kyler come back. The stadium was pretty empty for an NFL game.
Uh-huh.
Not a lot of Atlanta fans made the travel, and not a lot of Atlanta fans seem to live in Arizona. So the stadium, that I think that's the most empty I've seen it all season.
Mm.
Second closest might be the Bengals game, but the fans were electric. Seeing Kyler Murray come out of that tunnel for the first
Yeah.
time in a year, and he performed well. Obviously, he was shaking off a little bit of rust. He threw a really terrible interception, but then he led his team down the field, scored some points after that happened. He played well. I'm happy to see him back, man.
Yeah, he definitely didn't seem to lose a step in terms of his scramble. I mean, the guy was that last play, he was just freaking running around. I always laugh because of the meme that they say how you just imagine a toddler running from his parents, and it's exactly what it looks like. But dude, he was on point. I remember watching the first couple minutes, and he could not throw over the offensive line or defensive line. I think they just kept like batting it away. I was like, oh man, this is not good. But like you said, he brushed off that rust and was able to get the win, man.
Yeah, he was. And on the flip side of the ball, we talked about Bijan Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
how the coaching staff is not utilizing him as one of the best running backs in the NFL. before the game started, I'm like, are they actually going to use Bijan Robinson this game or not? And for the first possession that the Cardinals had, it was a punt. So they punt it. The return man is Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing? Don't use him like that. What are we doing here? Or risk him for that? And he bobbled it a little bit. He almost dropped
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Use him as a running back and then put a return man out as the return man. But they definitely gave him the ball more this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're feeding him a little bit more, which is nice to see. I like seeing Bijan do well. He was doing well. He had 22 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had some explosive runs there. He was able to exploit that Arizona defense.
Yes, he was. Yep, 22 carries. That's the volume that he should be getting. He
Not
should be getting between
15.
15 and 20.
Yeah. Or that lower end where
Easily.
he was, the last game, where it's just I think he had, like you said, he had 12 carries or something ridiculously low.
Yeah, it was something gross that should not be happening. So that was good to see. Taylor Heineke. We love our boy
Ooh.
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
My man got injured in the middle of the game. So his backup quarterback, Desmond Ritter, had to fill in. They did not throw for many yards, man. They threw for 70 yards total, the Falcons,
Mm-hmm.
compared to the Cardinals 230.
Yeah.
So it was mostly just a run game through Bijan Robinson, a little bit of Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. The Cardinals are always fun to watch, no matter what game it is.
It's definitely different vibes out here, like before there wasn't much to root for. You would know they were going to get beat, or it's just like, whatever. But yeah, they've kept it competitive this year. It's one of those teams where like, okay, we're probably going to lose, but it's going to be a good game. We're going to try really hard.
Yeah, and they certainly do. And they have James Conner back as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
He performed just fine. 16 carries for 73 yards. Actually, had a higher on average yards per carry than Bijan Robinson. He was performing awesome. He has some cool highlights from that game with some angry runs and some explosive moves.
Yeah.
Some spins. It was cool to watch, man.
Definitely.
Any other games from week 10 that you wanted to talk about?
49ers, man. They destroyed the Jaguars, bro.
Spanked them, dude.
It was bad to watch. I was watching the entire time, and fortunately, Christian McCaffrey, his streak came to an end. Did not score a touchdown.
Those
last couple
of silence,
dude,
for Christian McCaffrey's streak.
Dude, they were trying to do everything they could to give him the ball. Like they started off, they got the ball back, and they started off at like the 20, 30 yard line, and they pushed all the way to like I think 50 to 50, 60 yards. And they're like, all right, they put McCaffrey back in, and they just gave him the ball, and they were trying to do everything they could. The last play was a little weird. They kind of had him in a receiving slot, which, I mean, dude, it's Christian McCaffrey. Just have him freaking punch it in, have him do what he does. But fortunately, it came to an end. As almost all good things must. But I mean, man, what a game! That defense just absolutely shut out Taylor Lawrence.
Dude,
poor guy.
I'm looking at what the Niners did. Oh my goodness, they killed him, man.
At one point, Bosa and the Chase Young, yeah, they both hit Lawrence, dude. They both freaking smacked him at the same time. It was like, dude, this is terrifying. This is gonna be terrifying to play against.
Damn. Yeah, they are back to form for sure. I think Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel are two key pieces to their offense that they just cannot afford to not have.
Mm-hmm.
Deebo Samuel, I mean, he's not outputting as much performance as Christian McCaffrey, but he's performing well. He had 3 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown. Then he had 4 receptions for 30 yards. And if you go through and look at their players, some guys that really aren't top performers, It's the explosive big plays that are happening. That's the big problem here. Like Jusic, 2 receptions, 26 yards. Ronnie Bell, 1 reception, 20 yards. It's just huge plays that the Jaguars defense is allowing from these guys.
Kittle killed it. I think he only had 3 receptions, but he had over, right? Is it, you see on there?
Yeah, 3 receptions,
over 100 yards.
116 yards.
Yeah, dude.
That's just insanity.
Yeah.
Even Brandon Ayuk, he only had 3 receptions, 55 yards. It's crazy. They got styled on in a big way.
Yes, sir.
For Jags. And I like Trevor Lawrence a lot. But man, oh man.
Did I say Taylor Lawrence?
I don't think so. Maybe you did.
Trevor? I might have said Taylor.
You're still thinking about Taylor Heineke.
Or Taylor Swift.
Or maybe Taylor Swift. Karma's that guy on the Chiefs.
Hey.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Such a hater.
I am a big time hater.
Such a hater. Haters gonna hate.
Shut the fuck up. Anything else you wanted to discuss here?
No, I think we covered games for the most part.
Yeah, the only one that we didn't touch on that's interesting is the Titans and the Buccaneers. Titans with Will Levis. We're on the train. We're big time on the Will Levis train.
The Will train.
He didn't perform terribly. Kind of performed kind of bad. 199 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns. He was 19 of 39. So less than a 50% completion rating. So that's pretty bad. But it's just one game.
Bad.
It's one game. It is against a Bucs defense that is really shit. So that's not good. But we'll see. We'll see if they rally.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. They play the Jags on Sunday.
That'll be fun.
It'll be a good game. Both of these guys coming off of very disappointing games.
Yeah.
Be fun to see. Quarterback versus quarterback. Really fun. I'll watch that instead of my Giants and Commanders game. How's that?
That's fair.
Yeah. I think so. All right. Very cool. If that's it, let's get into Thursday Night Football, my guy.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is one of the best Thursday Night Football matchups of the season. Cincinnati Bengals heading to Baltimore, taking on the Ravens. The Bengals are 5-4. The Ravens are 7-3. It also is important to note how these teams' records kind of are reflected. So the Bengals obviously had a really rough start to the season. They were one of the worst teams in football the first 3 weeks or so. Almost completely scoreless. They've rallied. They've found their sweet spot again. They've been performing, putting up big points as they should.
Big points.
Big points, big plays. Ravens, they're looking mighty strong.
Dude,
they're looking
dangerous.
Absolutely playoff caliber. They could potentially go all the way, as one would say. A couple of concerning games, though. Particularly with them blowing leads late in the games. This is a carryover from Lamar Jackson's entire NFL career, where they're just blowing leads, man.
Yeah.
The most frustrating one, there's 2 frustrating ones. The one being against the Colts. I don't know how that happened.
Right.
But yeah, they allowed the Colts to stall on them. And then the other one would be the Steelers. Looking for that game.
To the Steelers too, man.
Here it is. Yeah, they allowed the Steelers to get 14 points in the second quarter, or excuse me, in the second half, and the Ravens went completely scoreless in the second half. So they just let the Steelers walk all over them. That's the concerning part about the Ravens is they're not as big of chokers as the Chargers, but they choke.
Choke quite a lot.
They choke quite a lot.
The Browns game that they played, that was a doozy too. That was another one where they had the lead and just could not finish, could not capitalize. And Browns defense, give them credit. I'd say they're the best defense in the league right now, next to the 49ers.
I would agree with that. Yeah, it's another one where, my goodness, 24 points in the second half to their 14. It's just unacceptable. 16 points in the fourth quarter alone is disgusting, and probably puts a pit in your stomach if you're a Ravens fan. But one matchup to look at for each of these teams was their previous game that they played, right? Since they played already this season on September 17th, Ravens did win 27-24. So it was a pretty close and competitive game, which is to be expected from division rivals.
Right.
How do we feel like this translates into this game that we're about to see tomorrow night?
I mean, this is a different Joe Burrow, like you said. Like, he started off not great. I think though with the Bengals though, their defense is so bad. They're just
the defense is bad.
They're giving up way too many points. I mean, both teams are.
Let me give you something here to echo your point.
Give me something.
Let me give you something. It's big. It's huge.
Oh, huge.
It is the amount of yards that the team allows per game.
Oh yeah.
They allowed almost 250 yards passing per game, and they're allowing 100 and almost 140 yards rushing per game.
It was a 136, right? I think that's what I saw too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like third in the NFL. Yep.
That is a ton. That is a ton of yards. So obviously with that, the offense is going to need to perform to keep up with what the defense is allowing.
Yep.
You know, you're allowing almost 400 yards of total offense a game. It's not acceptable.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Ravens on the other side, not terrible. They're only allowing 173 passing yards per game, which is excellent. 100 rushing yards per game, which is decent. So the Ravens defense
they just got to hold on to that lead, man. They have to just stop.
That's my concern.
Giving up points.
That's my concern with is them giving up a lead. Giving up a lead to Joe Burrow, who's getting back into his prime status.
Daddy Burrow, man.
Daddy Burrow. Well, I mean, what are we thinking here? What is your pick here as far as the team that's going to pull this off?
I hate to say this, but I think the Ravens.
Yeah,
I like the Bengals. I'm a fan. I think the Ravens are the better, more complete team. I know they give up stuff, but yeah.
You know what sucks? Is I'm thinking the Ravens as well, for the same reasons. The Bengals, they had a rough start. They're getting better, but I think the Ravens are a better team.
Yeah.
They're just more complete with the defense, and offensively, they're a little bit more consistent. I think they are. Oh, go ahead.
If the Bengals had a better defense, I would say definitely the Bengals, but it's just they just can't. Especially this is such a run-heavy team. You got 2-star running backs, and I'd say 3 with Lamar Jackson. You know, and you can't forget about Mark Andrews and Odell, who can explode at any minute. So I don't think I would love to see the Bengals win, but I think the Ravens got this one.
I think so too. And they are the favorites for this as well. The Ravens are favored by 3.5 points.
3.5. That I tell you, that line, bro, is such a trap.
It is a trap line.
It's a trap line, man.
It's a field goal. Field goal will make or break it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. You want to start getting into our picks?
Let's do it.
All
my
right.
dog just farted, so my room smells like really better now.
That's okay. Ladies first. You have the floor.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Are you gonna leave?
Oh, I thought you were gonna remove me. I'm sorry.
Fucking bastard. Okay. Well, these are my 5 picks for the Thursday night football game, Bengals at Ravens. So coming into this, both teams are coming off a very disappointing loss. Ravens lost to the Browns. The Bengals lost to the Texans. So both of them are definitely going to want to score a win here, especially with it being a division rival. Unfortunately, I'm a fan of the Bengals, but I think the Ravens have this. They're just a better complete team, defense, offense side. They do tend to give up leads and blow leads, but I don't think they're going to blow it this time. Next, I have Odell Beckham Jr. receiving over 26 and a half yards. He's gotten a lot better throughout the season. He's definitely hitting more of his stride. I think this is a really low yardage, especially for someone like him, that he can explode at any time. 1 or 2 catches, easily over 30 yards. So I'm going to take the over 26 and a half yards. Next, I have Keaton Mitchell over 36 and a half rushing yards. Cincinnati defense is the 3rd worst rushing defense in the league, giving up over 136 rushing yards. Keaton Mitchell got 34 yards against the Browns, which I think is probably the best defense in the league right now, next to the 49ers. So the fact that he can do that against the Browns, no problem against the Bengals. Next, I have Mark Andrews. I'm going to take him for 40 yards. I think his over-under is around 56, but if we're trying to parlay this, I'm trying to keep it a little bit safer, just keep him at 40 yards. Next is an anytime touchdown. Now, this can go either 3 ways. You can either do Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, or Keaton Mitchell. And again, this is just because the Bengals have such a terrible run defense. For this one, I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. He has 5 rushing touchdowns this year. I think he can get another one. So I'm going to take Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown. And those are my 5 picks for this week.
God damn, bro, write a fucking novel here. You know I gotta edit this shit, right? God damn.
Not bad.
You're okay. It's okay.
Can you hurry up?
I got a thing stuck in my throat.
A wiener?
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So these are my 3 picks for Thursday Night Football. Cincinnati Bengals heading to Baltimore, taking on the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens here to pull this game off. The Bengals have had an inconsistent season so far. Their defense has been playing pretty poorly. I do believe Joe Burrow is a great quarterback, and I think he'll perform well. However, Ravens are just a more complete team. The defense is playing fantastic, and the offense is a powerhouse behind Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens money line. Next, I'll take Joe Mixon. Oh my God. I'm dying. Jesus Christ.
All those popsicles in your fucking throat, bud.
No, I drank, it went down the wrong hole.
Hey, there's no such thing.
Okay. All right. Let me try again. Whew. All right. Next, I'll take Joe Mixon, 40 plus rushing yards. The Baltimore Ravens pass defense is very good this season. So I see the Bengals relying more on the run game here. 40 yards should be easy for Mixon. And last, I have Mark Andrews, 40 plus receiving yards. Mark Andrews has been performing very well for the Baltimore Ravens. I see him continuing that and getting easily 40 yards. Those are my picks for Thursday Night Football.
All right. Well, your throat feel a little better, bud?
No. Feels like a cheese grater's in there.
Oh, man.
Can't talk.
All
right. Oh, cool. Good thing we're done, right?
Yep.
Hell yeah. So we'll see how this pans out. We're pretty much tracking. You just have 2 more picks than I do. Godspeed to you. Hope you hit.
We'll see, man.
Great.
Any given Sunday.
Fucking no help at all. All right. Well, thank you, ladies and germs. If you made it this far, please leave a like. Follow for more football content. We'll be releasing another video on Saturday to discuss the rest of Week 7 in the NFL. With that said, what did I say?
You said Week 7.
I meant Week 11. Did I not say Week 11?
You said 7, brother.
Are you sure?
Idiot.
Fuck. All right. Week 11 of the NFL. We'll be talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I will while he goes. Sick. Thanks for watching.